guys, welcome back. It's episode 4. It's your boy Joe. I'm here with Drea G.
Drea Dreagonza.
Yeah. She's here to give us her insight on a purposeful life.
Yes,
and what it all entails. Today we're going to be talking about prepared schedule.
Yeah.
That's what I sent you. And pleasure versus priority. So let's dive in. Always remember to follow me on the gram. I'm going to drop her Instagram handle as well. You can follow her and her photography journey. She's doing a lot.
That's a hobby right now.
Well, hopefully it'll be something good. So we'll see. We're here at Boomtown Coffee in the Heights.
West 19th. Come try their crude and their spectrum.
Yeah, we're stepping outside of the All Naps Matter studio, but let's get right into it.
I picked this. I'm great. I'm doing awesome.
Yeah.
This is kind of like a plain parts for me. This kind of just fell in my lap. It was actually pretty cool because I'm trying to work on this new project called Blessings. So I feel like check that out. I don't know when it's gonna come out, but it's kind of something I'm just messing with right now.
You keep that in mind.
But scheduling, priorities, and pleasure.
Yeah.
So me growing up in through high school and all that stuff, I struggled a lot with identity issues.
Yeah.
A ton, mainly because it's I come from a very religious Hispanic family, and they're like, oh, you're supposed to be marrying a man, blah, 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 blah. So it was a huge struggle trying to, do my thing, but then also please my family at the same time. And then, eventually it came to them being understanding on it, so that kind of took some burden off of my shoulders. And then after graduation, I tried to do... I basically lived my life trying to be, what everybody says to do. Go to school, get your degree, and then work on your degree, work 8 to 5 off weekends. Do just that, and then you'll be fine in your life. And I'm like, okay. So I did just that, and it just did not work out.
Because it sounds so nice.
It does.
On one side.
It does.
But once you get on the highway to that route, you're like, you know what, this is bananas.
It's not. It wasn't me. I didn't feel fulfillment.
It does not bring any type of real joy or peace.
At all. My headspace was just all over the place. And it wasn't clear. I wasn't aligned with my energies, and it was just...
I feel like it pushes you more to vices. Because for me, it was the same run-of-the-mill thing, go to school, graduate, go to college.
Right.
Go get a job for yourself. Do all these productive things that would work, but in actuality, as I was doing these things, I was doing it to fulfill people around me because I wasn't sure of who I was.
Self-fulfillment.
So in my downtime, to keep my mind regulated, I often ventured off to other vices. It pushed me to drink and smoke more.
Yeah, I did that a lot too.
Unrealistic amount. But it was because my fixation was not on the purpose or goal in itself. I knew I would obtain it over time, but it was doing that to please other people.
Right.
So,
yeah, I did that a lot.
I can feel that.
A ton. And so it got to the point to where I was like, okay, I need to do something different. I need a complete change in my life. And so I enlisted in the military.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, so I enlisted in the military.
I did not know that.
It was actually last year in June. So a year ago today I enlisted. And at that time I was kind of juggling Hope City, which is my church. So my God-given gifts and my spiritual gifts and healings and all that. So I was juggling that with enlisting and trying to find another purpose. So I was convinced that I was being pushed to that purpose to help others and outpour my love and hopefully make a change in the world he's pushed me to do. And then over time it was kind of you know what, maybe this wasn't. And so long story short, I went to Hope City one day. I joined a group. I served through Hope City, and I feel like that just opened up a whole nother list of priorities in my life. So I didn't leave for the Navy. I was enlisted in the Navy. So I didn't leave for the Navy. And my whole schedule with work and stuff, I basically prioritized everything through church and through God and through my spiritual callings and my higher purpose. And it's gotten to a point to where I don't do anything for myself anymore, but I'm just openly being used for His purpose and outpouring His love around everybody else. And I feel like I feel like that kind of outpoured on you.
Yeah.
And so that called you like to me, so we can grow.
Well, I could
your
see
image as well. You know?
I could
so
see it from just your posts, and even in high school, that was innately who you were. You were an open person. You're optimistic. You could be friends with anybody,
right?
And the conversations would always be the same.
Yeah. I just
was like, yeah, man, I gotta have her on a podcast.
It's all destiny, you know? It's all his working hand, and so my pleasures came from going out, drinking, and like, you know, doing things because everybody else is doing it. So I basically prioritized everything to, all right, where can I serve and where can I help others and where can I, like, you know, fulfill his deeds and all that. So my life's really basically structured around spiritual guidance, and ever since then, I feel so fulfilled. I've been living my best life, I guess you can say. That opened up my photography doors. So it's just like when I don't focus on him and like I don't like do my prayers or like my writings or my journals, everything is just chaotic, and my mind's not right, my energies aren't aligned. Like, it's just, my headspace is just combobbled, right? But when I prioritize what I truly need to prioritize, all my pleasures come after that, you know? So I sit down, I like do a little prayer, I serve, and I do what I'm supposed to, and everything just kind of falls into place. So I prioritize a lot of you know, him, and then that's where all my pleasures come out of. So it's really neat. It's really, really cool.
Okay, so I had a few questions. I'm trying to get to at least, you know, about 45 minutes on this podcast.
Wow.
Yeah. And it usually works out that way. I believe it will. It's a lot going on, so I'm trying to look at you and not go. But that's just me. But so we can go. So for prepared schedules, you say you talk about a time when you weren't prepared, and the time you were prepared. Can you talk about the pros and cons of not having a prepared schedule,
oh my goodness,
having one, and the process and all the steps it took to saying, hey, I gotta do this first in order for this, that, and the other to happen?
Well, I'll keep it simple because...
Oh, no, take your time.
No. So, like, health and wellness is huge. So we won't get anywhere unless, you know, you're well in your, you know, health and, like, spiritually well and all that stuff. So I would... Just like an easy example, I'll have my set day the next day. If I prepare the night prior the way that I'm supposed to. So like prep my meals, prep my breakfast, you know, put everything in the fridge, breakfast, lunch, dinner, yada, yada, yada. I wake up. If I don't do that night, my next day is just, oh my gosh, it's all over the place. I spend money I'm not supposed to. So everything just, it's terrible.
See, with me, I'm the other way.
Really? That's me though. That's like my prepared schedule.
But my wife is that way too. She has to have a forward-thinking plan before it comes.
Right.
And me, I'm more of like jump off the cliff and
wing
develop
it.
means
Kind
on
of
the way down.
And on the fly.
It's aggravating for my wife, but I'm learning to say, you know, this is how I'm created. But I, at the same time, I can strategically step back to a certain extent and say, okay, well, I want to do these 3 things today. I have to do these 3. If I do these 3, the rest of my day is fulfilled.
Right.
Because I know I can't micromanage or macromanage my day. I have to go with the flow, so to say. I can't even lie because I'm more impulsive on my moves, and I just get out and do it. So if I have an overall just of just
what you need to
2 or 3 components, then I'm good.
Yeah, like me, I have to get this done today. I have to get IKEA done today because I'm moving in 2 weeks, and gym, and then serving. So those are my 4 points for today. Everything else in between is kind of like cool, whatever. Might hit the vinyl shop over there and buy some records. You know, get my niche in for buying records and music and all that stuff. So that's another cool. Hello,
hey,
what's up? Just Chloe here.
Okay.
Nothing. I was like, she works here.
Okay. So, that's cool.
See, outpouring on everybody. But I feel like there's pros and cons to both being prepared and not being prepared. So being prepared, you know, my day goes smooth. Right?
For you.
con, there's not as much excitement because it's a set schedule. Like, okay, this and this and this and that. It's kind of more routine. Mm-hmm. So I've learned to change perspective on things. So if my day's not prepared, I just make the most of it. I'm like, cool, I'm just going to go off on a limb. I have nothing prepared today. I'm just going to go do this and have fun. So I kind of changed the perspective on just have fun on the days that you didn't prepare for, because that's when things happen. Like, that's when the most amazing things happen, is when it's unexpected. You know, it's like when you don't look for it and it just hits you, and it's kind of like, yes. It's like different elements, different. It kind of allows me to move, like, in the time that I want to. So, like, my pace. So it's like, all right, so I don't have to be here by 2. I can just kind of cruise here and be on my own element. You know? And no rushing on anything. It's kind of like just enjoy that moment and enjoy like my creation for that moment. Yeah. So that's a huge pro on having a non-prepared day. And there's really no cons except for like, when's my day gonna end? You know, kind of thing. So that's the only con on that. But there's pros for both preparedness and non-preparedness. It's just the way that you visualize and perceive that day, you know. And I tell everybody to go wholeheartedly to every day and like enjoy the now. So there's actually this book called The Power of Now. You should totally read it. I'm not gonna give you any. Who's it by? I don't know the author. It's a really good book. It's a really good book. You don't read?
I do, but not like I should. I'm a terrible reader. I'm like. And my mind is everywhere. I'm always thinking about 6 different things at once, but doing nothing.
Same. I have ADD.
Like,
terribly.
I'm not doing anything, but I'm thinking about, I need to do this, I need to do that, I need to do this. And so, like, now I'm trying to slow down. Yeah. Because my wife is OCD. So, being with an impulsive person and you're OCD, it's a lot of clashing sometimes. So I'm trying to sit down and say, okay, I'm gonna do this and just do this.
See, actually, okay, so me and my girlfriend Jackie, she's in the shop right now. So I'm super prepared with like the fitness aspect of my life, but everything else, I'm like, whatever. I don't care. I'm kind of like more laid back, chill. Her, on the other hand, she's like, okay, we need to do this, this, and this, and this, and that. I'm more free spirited. I'm more like, I can go on a hiatus and be okay with it and all that. So I can see where you're coming from, where like you guys clash and stuff like that. But I like slow her down and remind her like, hey, just enjoy it. Like, we were stuck at IKEA for 4 hours the other day, and she was super frustrated. I'm like, dude, you have all these beds upstairs. Go lay in a bed. Go do this. Go have fun. Like.
And that's the same on my side. Right. My wife is perfect for me. She's my helper. But she can put herself in a space where she's just like off the rails because it's not going how she planned.
My girlfriend will freak out. Hello.
No, I'm okay.
Good.
Just listening.
Everything's happening. See, perspective.
And so as you can see, we're outside, so it's a little crazy, but we'll keep going.
You gotta make the best of what you have, you know.
We
seize the moment. I learned that from Coco. Have you seen that movie?
I've seen it yesterday, and
seize
it's actually it's a good movie.
It made me cry like every single time. If you haven't seen Coco, go watch Coco.
So shout out to them. It makes sense now why they won so many Emmys. Because I was like, this is a kids movie over like these good movies.
And so I feel like that kind of plays into what you're trying to reach into today. And oh my God, we're using a movie to, compare, but it's like they expected him to be one way, but his calling and his higher purpose, like
it's something else.
It's something else. So you just have to go for it. And I feel like that's a lot of people live in that struggle today. And I feel like a lot of the pressure comes from social media and the internet. And so
that's the whole purpose of this, because
I feel like people just need to chill out,
you can show the good aspects, what you want to show, and fabricate this whole life that really isn't you. And the thing is, you reach people off of the false fabrications. And then these people and this whole mindset is, well, if I live my life like this, it'll bring this. And I talked about it on the last podcast. Money is a great tool, give you access to a lot of things, but it in itself is not fulfilling. So when people create the fabrications, this is what you do to
Yeah.
have an abundance of money. You chase that fabrication. That's not really them.
Yeah, and it's and I feel like you can, not like you can tell, but being yourself gives character to what you do. You know, I can easily just go take a picture of something and make it beautiful, but I'm not going to give it a meaning. I'm not going to give it a story if it's not what I'm truly passionate about, you know? And I feel like the social media just needs to chill out too. Like, everybody's artistic in their own way, and I don't feel like people should be criticized because their art's not the way that they perceive their art, you know?
Yeah.
People turn things into a competition a lot, and if somebody came to me for like fitness suggestions, music suggestions, photography suggestions, writing, church, anything, let's do it. You know, like, let's come on. Like, I'll help you grow. I'm not gonna turn it into competition because no, that was my thing first. Like, no, it's everybody's thing.
It's all the same thing. Everybody's interpretation is different.
Yep. This
is one song I hear by J. Cole. Apparently, it's second to last album, and he says, "This is my art. I'm gonna paint it how I want to. This is my canvas." And for me, as just an avid listener or somebody that's finding the purpose, J. Cole's the best.
Shout out to J. Cole.
Shout out to J. Cole. So, for me, hearing that in that moment and space, it let me know, because that was a time in my place where I really, especially when I started cutting hair, I jumped into cutting hair off of falsifications. I was saying, I'm a 5-star celebrity barber. And I haven't cut hair. I probably cut like 2 or 3 people. And so I was pushing that image that wasn't me. So when the time came to produce what I said I could produce, of course the results were different. And so it became that battle of, people like, he really ain't what he say he is. Who is he? Is he really good? Is he really,
Who am I really? And then and then it puts doubt in your head, like, am I really supposed to be doing this, or like, am I not good enough? And then it's kind of like,
and that's what it boiled into.
And then it blinds your judgment on what is my purpose, and then you basically go back to square one. And
like
it's a struggle, but people just need to remember, like, your work or your art is not going to please everybody. It's going to please those that need to be touched and those that need healing. It's like, you can have an audience of 500 and touch 2 people, but those 2 people is all that it takes, because those 2 people can outpour on somebody else. You know, so it's just connection, and it's just outpouring. And I keep going back to outpouring because it's all the fulfillment that I have outpours to everybody else. I can have a bad day and people know. It
transmits.
It's what's that called? The spiral effect, or like the drop of water and the ripple effect.
Ripple effect.
Dumb brain fart. But it's a ripple effect, and like, when people really take the time to prioritize like their needs and stuff like that, like it's just all gonna fall into play. And it's not over, like, blessings. You need to be thankful for what you have at the moment, and just back to Coco, you need to seize it.
It does. And when you really just understand that this is who you are, trying to impress and get everyone's approval no longer matters.
It does not.
You realize this is my path. And I mentioned that a lot on my last episode. The last guy I talked to, that really in a purpose-driven life, I believe is that you start getting to a point where now it's, I know this is me, I've assured myself, and I keep going. So, and whoever it's going to touch is going to touch, like you said. It's not intended to get the impressions or the approval.
I feel like you reach a certain level of like confidence to where you forget that there's opinions out there, and you're just kind of like, oh well, it made me happy, and it's my fulfillment. I'm not doing this for you, And I've gotten to a point to where I mean I'm not a professional photographer, and I'm not those people that have like 5,000 likes and stuff.
It's your purpose.
Exactly. And I'm like at the point to where I'm doing my own thing, and it's making me happy. And I used to fabricate my social media, my Instagram. I'm not even gonna lie about it. People have done it millions of times. I fabricate my life to where, okay, I need to get this many likes. I need to get this many, followers. I need to get this many things. And
because that's what society tells us is important.
And then I just kind of got to the point to where it's like I doubted myself more, and I, isolated myself from people that really cared for me. And then when I started being myself, it's like the universe kind of weaves out those people that set doubt in your head. So people that have good energies and can help you fulfill things like internally, they're just brought into
they can support you on your purpose.
So exactly. So I feel way better now than I used to when I fabricated my happiness and all that.
Because it's not fulfilling.
Exactly.
It's not fulfilling. Same with me. Like I said, it pushed me to drinking more than I really should. But it's because, the same way, it's because I was looking for the approval and impressions of the people that I thought I needed it from.
And it's not really what am I going to do with my life, or what am I going to do in the future, or what am I doing now. It really boils down to who am I.
Yeah.
So you can't really get to what am I gonna do until you really reach that who am I? Like, or who do you want me to be? Like, so obviously to him, not to followers. Like, who do you want me to be? And since I've been more like in tune with like my spiritual side, it's weeded out a lot of people. A ton of people, and it's the people that fabricate their social media, and it's the people that fabricate their life and do life just for the followers and the likes and stuff.
Yeah, for the approval.
But then they get this like little like hint, like, what is Drea doing? Like, she's extremely happy right now, and so it just pulls people back. And I feel like when you're unapologetically yourself, it just rubs off on people. It's intense. Like, what is she doing? And it's like,
it's a more sound testimony, because one, you can't have a testimony without a test.
Exactly.
And then without a testimony, you won't be able to reach people. And if we're in this life, or in this space where we want to reach and encourage people and draw them to what keeps us grounded, we gotta have the test. Has to be sure. Like, the testimony has to be 100% sure. Something we've walked through, something we've personally experienced. And if it isn't that, then we'll reach people, but on a false sense. On a false sense that ultimately derail them, and now you have this pattern.
Exposed eventually.
It'll be exposed from you. But by then, the seed had already been planted with them, where now they're continuing the schedule. The habit, they're continuing that, and now we have 7, 8, 9 generations who are all just living a fake life.
And it's very disappointing sometimes. And like my sister will be like, ooh, I want to do this. I'm like, okay, well, why do you want to do that? And she's like, well, because everybody else is doing it. And I'm like, no, but what do you want to do?
But you haven't stopped and thought for yourself and say, well, I don't like this.
And then she gets,
I do really this.
And then she gets super like down, because she's like, I can't achieve that level of artistic talent that this person has. So it's just super degrading to your own life. And it's like you just dig yourself in a hole deeper. That and it's not, and then so social media has a big play on that, but then you also have a big play on it too, because you're creating worries and problems in your head that don't even exist.
And it's sad, especially with these generations that are coming up after us. Like, the era of trolling is now. It's
insane.
Like,
it is.
People are not afraid to do whatever it takes to get that instantaneous fame, one, and then the being known. They don't care what it is, and then they make it with the access, because they just do that to get money.
And then it goes back to your testimony, though. It goes back to your testimony, though. Like, people aren't scared to say mean things. It's like, how tough are you, internally, and like, your headspace, how strong are you to be like, whatever, it doesn't matter, because it's gonna blow out eventually.
If you're in your purpose, you'll have enough strength and endurance. You'll be prepared for that. And it shouldn't derail you. But
like, whatever.
On the end of people who aren't walking the life they should be walking, when they get there, I'm telling you, any little thing that's not positive, throws them off their mark.
That's it, And it's like, how do we get those people back to fulfilling their purpose, or how do we get those that have stepped off the line, how do we reel them back in to really see that there's a higher purpose in their life?
It goes back to testimony and tests. Like, I can't reach you on what it is to drink, you know, on a crazy level if I haven't done it. I can't relate or emphasize with you if I haven't done it. I can't speak to you about what it is to be living my life for X amount of years trying to please and approve people without experiencing that. And so for you to jump out the gate and say that's where you were in one space of time, and then you finally realize that this is what you're supposed to be doing and how you're supposed to be doing it.
We just need more relatable people.
Yeah, more relatable people. So that was confirmation to me that I'm moving the right way, because
for sure
I really don't, I mean, I share that with people, but I didn't share that with you once we met and started talking. But
I haven't seen this guy in 8 years.
It's been some time. So, but in that space and time from sophomore year to roughly 2 years ago, I could say that about a good 10 years of just trying to please everybody else around me.
That comes to show you, though, how strong real and authentic connections are.
Yeah.
It's like we can go years without speaking, and then as soon as, you know, we reconnect or something, it's like, oh my gosh, our souls are just
you're helping me, I'm helping you.
Exactly.
So and that's always the purpose. Well, that's been the purpose of this podcast. Is that right there, and just talking about small things in their little aspect, and how it plays into the overall purpose.
And like once you start, you know, prioritizing yourself, it's gonna surround you with those good energies that you have that connection with through and through. You know?
So prioritizing yourself, you say that. So what are the things that you've done or you do to keep yourself prioritized to help play into planning out a day, or picking, oh well, this is important and this is just something I want to leisurely do? How does prioritizing yourself flow into all those aspects?
I prioritize myself by writing. So I don't post it, I don't share it.
It's a vice. It's a positive vice.
It's my own thing, you know. I keep it. You know, some things you just gotta keep. You know,
of course. I'm a believer in positive vices. Some of my vices are recreational, meaning I can do it with other people. And some more extensive privately vices I do by myself with God, not even with my wife. My wife is aware, but these are things that me and God are discussing and doing. So I'm a believer in vices.
For sure. So I write big time. Like, I have my little journal here, but this is actually the first time I share that I actually write. So I stopped writing, though, because maybe 4 or 5 years ago, my writing ended a very bad, it created a very bad breakup. So I stopped writing just because I was angry towards it. Like, I'm like, like I was writing my feelings, they were exposed, and it ended every relationship that, you know, I had near and close to me. And so I actually just started writing again maybe about 7 months back. So it's helped me like prioritize myself. As far as like my feelings and aligning myself and basically bulldozing anybody that had a bad opinion on me, or like any criticisms or any just bad comments. So I'll wake up, I'll write, I'll say a little prayer. You know, first of all, you know, glorify the Almighty, you know, God and all that stuff. And so I feel like writing just prioritizes me. And it just aligns me and it grounds me. So I go out throughout my day, something bad happens, I'm like, it's cool, it's no big deal. Something bad happens at work, I'm like, it's cool, it's no big deal. It starts with me, and if I let it get to me, it's gonna exactly. So that's how I prioritize my day. I wake up, I write, I thank Him, and if I don't do that, then my day is just bad. Like, it's just terrible. Like that's how I prioritize myself to start my day. And it's like what you said, you have that one connection with Him that nobody knows about, and I feel like people need that
every day.
That authenticity to just be able to get them throughout their week, their month, their life, their year, you know?
Yeah.
People focus too much on, oh my God, what am I going to do? Why are they...
Well, we see how it makes them feel, and then the overall grace. That's the blueprint.
Yeah.
In today's society and time, and it's the same because it's mentioned in the Bible. Lust of the flesh, lust of the eyes, the pride of life. And so to keep myself away from that mindset, what I do to prepare is simply waking up and I sit and reflect. I haven't gotten knee deep into writing, but writing it's a positive vice, and my wife does it. And some journals she share with me, and some she don't.
Oh yeah, I don't share
And the more personal ones, because we are mates and we are one, we're one unit. When she shares it.
Hemi, it's a Hemi, guys.
Yeah, that caught me off guard. When she shares it, she's, she gives me a warning. I want you to know this was my thought and mindset in this space and time. And she's teaching me not to be judgmental is a harsh word, but a person that will misunderstand. Misunderstanding. And so, because she's teaching me how to be understanding and see things from a different perspective, to understand, okay, this is how they see life, and I gotta respect it, one, and then two, who am I to cast what I've been taught structurally on this person, because I don't know the guidelines or the way they walk, and so she's teaching me that in her writings. But what I do is wake up and self-reflect. If I need to jot down because I have a wall of concerns or a wall of content, I write like, oh, don't impress people. And I put that on the wall. And that's a forever reminder that I should no longer operate my life in the sense of impressing people. That I am who I am.
That's real.
I'm excited about it, and it'll never change. And that keeps me from being the chameleon. Because at one point in time, like I said, I was a chameleon. I was able to adapt and change. Like, okay, I can blend in. I can blend in like this. Oh, you're a drinker, you're a smoker. I'm a drinker, I'm a smoker. Because you're going to accept that I'm a drinker.
Are you popping bottles? I'm popping bottles.
And that really wasn't me. So at this juncture, it's like, man, I'm a turkey in the midst of lions. And I am cool with it.
And
it is what it is.
It's crazy because I'll go out with some of my friends. And it's like...
But if I don't do that and self-reflect and check my content, I don't mean to cut you off.
No, you're good.
Then I revert back to that chameleon mindset.
When you got something hot, just cut me off. And I do that to...
my wife's listening. She be like, oh, you cut them off.
It's okay, wife. It's okay, wife.
So, that's the only reason why.
But no, so my pastor said one time, it's like, if you really want to live this life that abundantly, you have to eliminate the things that are going to draw you back from it. So I was trying to find like my spiritual connection, but I was still going out and drinking and partying and getting hammered, So I'm like, okay, there has to be, some setback. You have to cut off some people from your life, and not that they're terrible people, but it's just it's an influence, and it's not the way that I want to live. So I want to be more like him and less like me, So more of him, less of me. And so now it's gotten to where I don't even go out as often. I mean, I'm not boring, I'm not terrible and stuff like that. I'll go out, and people are like, do you want to drink? I'm like, no, I'm okay. And they're like, okay, and they respect it. And it took me a long time to see that they don't care if you drink. They don't care if you do drink,
They're here for you.
They're there to have fun and
same way. Same way with me. It was like, if I'm not doing these things, they're not gonna like me.
Oh, yes.
And if they don't like me, I don't have any friends. If I don't have any friends, I don't have an identity.
When you prioritize yourself, the true people will stay in your life. You know, people will be around because they really want to, but some people are around because they're waiting for you to blow up. And waiting for you to get big, and you need to learn the difference between the two. But
the genuineness will either draw or dry them. That's what I've learned. Because the more genuine I am, if it really ultimately affects you in a negative stance, you'll move around. I won't have to do anything offensive or against your character to make you move around.
And it shows people to respect you more. So I have one of my dearest friends from the gym. She wasn't really, she didn't really have a really good image with people at the gym, but I sit around because I'm not about to kick somebody to the curb just because of he say, she say stuff.
Because of the outward appearance.
And she's changed dramatically. And she'll text me, she's like, she's like, you always let me know that there is hope in the world. And I'm like, and that's all I want. I just want people to know that there is hope and that people do love you for you. And you're not what people say that you are.
But that's the power in ministry.
Exactly.
In itself.
Yeah. And that wasn't even through church, though. Like, she doesn't go to church.
And
that's just through, like, the overflow of him, you know?
And that's the thing that people miss, especially in the church circuit. I've been in church my whole life.
Yeah, same.
People like to proclaim what the word is saying, but what they miss is the application. And it's a sensible and realistic approach.
Read between the lines.
Realistically, if you meet people where they are, you present a better image of what God in Christ is.
Yeah. So
than trying to proclaim something you're not applying. So yeah.
People think they're going to be delivered from everything bad in the world. No, like the Bible specifically says that he will be there with you.
Yeah.
He won't deliver you from everything in the world because life is hard. Like, it's not, you're not going to be delivered from everything. It's just going to be a lesson. So there's a song called Be Alright by Evan and Eris. They're like a Christian group, duo, whatever. And it says, I don't believe in failures in my life, I believe in lessons.
Yeah, because ultimately when your prepared mindset becomes that, you understand that this is just a lesson in my overall testimony. The test always comes to test where you are, to gauge what's really in you, to see if you're really walking in a fulfilled purpose or if you're just
fabricating.
False fabrication. Or pre-assumed fabrication. So that's the ultimate goal, is to try to encourage people, hey man, you can walk in your purpose, whatever it is, without
people judging you.
I'm not the master.
Even with people judging you, you can still walk in your purpose, you know? And it's gone to, when you walk in your purpose, when you prioritize yourself, people will respect you a lot more.
Way more.
So I'll go out with some of my friends and they'll, like, the way that they really, really act, they'll, you know, they won't do as much of that when they're around me because out of respect to me and my beliefs and my faith. Like, they're not going to degrade women around me because they know I'll speak up and say something. So it's actually taught them to be more humble. And, you know, be more genuine.
To be more understanding. And that is the toll and always the clashing.
And if people really love you, they'll stay around. And if they really are
regardless
for you, they'll stay around.
Regardless of where people's stances are, there's a mutual, not even a mutual respect. If it's genuine, I'll be understanding. And the last thing that'll be in my mind is something judgmental. Because you can't be genuine and judgmental at the same time.
Absolutely.
And so that's
that got really heated the last 10 minutes, didn't it?
Yeah, it did. It's a lot going on, but this thing is great. It picks up everything, and you're still able to decipher.
It's gonna pick up that Hemi.
So we can get ready to wrap it up. We got about like 10-20 minutes.
That was awesome.
Let's talk about what was the last thing? Okay, priority versus pleasure. Now for me, I have it swapped. I'm always
prioritizing your pleasures?
I'm always prioritizing my pleasures, but thankfully my wife does a good job of weeding out, like, no, this isn't really a priority. I'm like the 5-year-old child in the store, like, Mom, I gotta have this, and if I don't have it, the world's gonna end. The sky's gonna fall. And I'm telling you, and with her, God he's good, man. He's great.
I want my God shirt just for you today.
He's created her. I'm feeling it. I need to get one. He's created her to remind me, hey, this is not.
You don't need this.
It's not a priority. You want this. This is what you need. Have you done this? And so that turns it. I'm telling you, it goes back to my schedule. Okay, this is important. This has to be done. Everything else is just playtime.
You gotta schedule your priorities instead of your pleasures. So I have a Saturday night off, for example, and a whole bunch of friends will have something going on Saturdays and stuff. But I have the ability to serve on Saturdays too, so I'm just kind of like, all right, which is my priority? I'll catch myself sometimes. I'm not like, I'm there to where I'll serve him, but there's sometimes where I'm just kind of like, man, I don't want to go to church. Like, I want to go, out with my friends and stuff.
But there's a balance.
Exactly. And so I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to go surf. I'm going to prioritize him because that's my fulfillment. That's my purpose. That's my higher end. That's what opened up doors to me, so I'm going to glorify him because of all the blessings that I have.
Yeah.
And then if I have time, then I'll go there afterwards. But if I don't, cool. I went, and then it turns out I have, like, the best time ever.
Yeah.
Like, worship, take pictures, photography, the whole nine, and then I come back home, and then the next day I have blessings on blessings on blessings.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like, huh. And it just reverts back to him.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, so priorities. And, like, I do this thing called board shopping. Mm-hmm. So if I'm, like, really, really, really bored, I'll get on my phone and I'll just start online shopping, and it's the worst thing ever. Like,
see, you should have never told me that because.
But then it goes back to prioritizing.
I'm
it's like, do I really
shopper.
need this? Like, okay, like no joke.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, waiting here, and I went online. Oh, where's it at? I have this. And I was looking up vinyls from the record player. I'm like, okay, what do I need to buy?
Yeah.
Okay.
Bye. See you later. Okay. Yeah.
But she grounds me too. Like, she's like your wife. We're not married or anything, but she's kind of like, do you really need that? And I'm like, yes, it's Bob Marley. Like, of course I need it. She's like, no, but do you need it? Do you need this, or do you need food next month? I'm like, yeah.
You're right.
You're right.
Yeah.
And you need people like that. You need people
that
like that.
Support system where it reminds you, hey man.
You can even do that to yourself. Like, you gotta stop and be
this
like,
prioritized pleasure is not.
It's like, all right, this vinyl's $30.
Yeah.
Am I gonna regret that $30 at HEB?
Yeah, it teaches you.
You have to talk to yourself like
it
that.
Does
sometimes,
teach you. It does teach you.
And it's like, do I need this?
I'm the same way in the store. Like, and we've done it millions of times.
Mm-hmm.
We'd be like, all right, here's our budget, $50. Get blah blah blah.
Yeah.
My wife will get 30 essential things that'll last us a whole month.
Yeah.
And I'll get 15 things that last a whole week. And I actually always go over the budget. I blow the budget because my mindset.
Yeah.
And I'm working to reprogram and say, you know what, this is a pleasure.
You gotta start small too.
This is not important.
Yeah.
So in that aspect, now I say, okay, well, we need this, that, and the other for the house. Nothing more, nothing less.
Right.
And because I'm that type of person, I always wing it. I gotta have a precise schedule to not deviate from it.
Like,
and I don't put every area like that for me because I drive myself crazy. But in increments.
Yeah. And
so
you gotta start small.
and it transitions to like working out. Okay, I need to do this, that, and this. And so instead of just
thanks, babe.
Instead of just bye, see you later. Instead of just waking up or going to the gym and saying I'm gonna just dumbbell press or curl or do some pull-ups till I'm tired. I have a concise system.
You have to better yourself.
So it transitions when I have to sit back and program.
Like this place, Boomtown, it's my kryptonite.
Yeah.
I come in here and buy like 4 tacos. I literally
They have tacos?
Don't even try them because they're like crack. So I came in today and I was like, all right, I'm gonna get my coffee. I'm not gonna get tacos. I'm not gonna get tacos. I'm not gonna get tacos.
They have tacos here.
They have go in there and order Boomtown taco. It's the best. But anyway, for the past like 2 weeks,
I ate it.
the past 2 weeks, I have not ordered tacos.
Yeah.
And I high five myself for that because priorities. I'm like, okay, they're expensive though, so I can order 2 tacos and they're like $9. Yeah. I mean, it has a lot of stuff in it, but it's kind of like
it's still a lot.
That goes a long way. And then I go back into my bank account and I see like Boomtown.
Yeah,
I'm like, I need to chill out.
Yeah, I was like that, but it was with alcohol.
Yeah.
I was
So how'd you get through that?
My wife.
Yeah.
And then I finally sat down and said, man, why are you drinking? Yeah. And I don't tell a lot of people this, but I'll say it on here. The night before my mom passed, me and her went out to eat. Her favorite place to eat is Papacito's Cantina. And it was on a Wednesday. So, you get the half off fajitas.
I know all the deals.
So we went there and, oh, that's your shoe. I was like, what is this kicking my knee? No, you're good. So we went there. We're sitting in the car waiting on our food. And she said, son, why are you stressed? It's like, Mom, I'm out here working, trying to make it happen.
Yeah.
Stuff ain't popping. I'm trying to get it to pop. And she was like, that's not really why you're stressed. And I was like, it is. Yeah. And she said,
she saw right through you.
She was like, come on, just tell me. And, I like let loose.
Yeah.
And for me, the type of person that really be vulnerable with my mom, say, you know what, Mom, I'm out here running these streets, chasing these girls, drinking, partying.
Chasing an empire.
Like, I'm doing all this crazy stuff and still going to church, and
you can't live a double life.
I'm not fulfilled. Like, I feel more insane now than when I started off.
Yeah.
And I'm always doubting myself, like, is this what I'm supposed to be doing? And she said, son, the only reason why you're venting in all these vices is because you're not praying and really asking God.
Yeah.
And when she said that, it just clicked in my head, and I said, wow. Now that spilled over into, man, I really realized what my mom has done to sacrifice for me and my siblings to be here. And say, you know what, I'm going to turn over a new leaf, and I'm going to wake up and say, I'm going to do everything in my power to honor what my mom has done. Absolutely. Not knowing, unbeknownst, that she would pass the next day.
Right.
But it created that, it birthed that mindset.
Yeah, it's a rebirth. You ever thought about getting baptized?
I mean, I got baptized when I was little.
That don't matter. You can.
I mean,
baptized.
I've thought about coming to Hope City to visit because I see all your Instagram and Facebook ads for everything, and I'll be like,
it'll change your life.
I want to check out that church, but
it'll change your life. I feel like you're at a point of rebirth.
Yeah, but at this juncture, with the help of my wife and people around me, it's kind of really made me sit back and re-emphasize and like readjust. Like, why am I doing this? I'm only doing this because the crowd I wanted to be accepted by. But now that I'm understanding that I don't need acceptance to be purposeful, that I don't have to do it. And if I do it, it's a recreational sense. But then at the same time, like you said, I mean, I'm not making time for it. And because I don't make time for it, I receive way more beneficial things on the later end.
More fruitful life.
Than spending time with it. And so that was that, and it's still a depulugging thing because stepping back from that, you know, of course, the urges come. It's hard, but absolutely. I feel those urges with other vices.
Yeah, you have to remember the product isn't the problem. It's the formula. So I can, and like just to keep it in like
you said the product isn't the problem.
The product isn't the problem. It's the formula. Go ahead, Pastor Jeremy.
That's
so. And, like, a lot of people don't understand that. Like, you have to really think about it deep and really read it to where you can understand it. But just to give an easy idea, it's like, okay, Chipotle always makes me feel terrible after I eat it. But I eat it. So it's not... The problem isn't how I feel after I eat Chipotle. It's because I ate Chipotle in the first place. So it's like, when you subtract some stuff from the formula, the product is going to be way better. So it's not the product that's the problem. It's the formula.
The application. And that's where I'm at now. I always tell people, it's not...
Copyright. Pastor J.
It's not the commands and things. It's what we use to get there. So if you step back and check out your application, like what are you using to do this, that, and the other, then overall it'll change the product in a better sense. And so for me, it's like I stopped drinking. I had to work out more. And when I'm not working out, because the pressures and stress, you know, things are still coming. The tests are still coming. Instead of smoking and idly riding around the city, because that was my thing. Tour to 610. That's like this little running joke I have with my cousins and siblings. And we would literally just get in the car and ride around the loop, drinking, DJing. Now it sounds fun and exciting, but at the end of the day, when the tour is done, the problems and realities of life are still there.
They set in,
So for me, it's like, instead of doing that, I got to eat sunflowers. Drink some coffee, drink some tea. Find more proper seeds if I'm on Instagram that doesn't lead me to drinking but pushes me to work out more. Pushes me to eat right.
We can even like use the product formula and all that stuff with prioritizing. You know? So a lot of people have like their end product is being liked and their formula is Instagram, Facebook, likes, Twitter, followers, all that stuff. So when you just eliminate all of that and you put like fulfillment, like purpose, myself, loving myself, and as cliche as it may sound, you have to love yourself before you love anybody else. And that's something that's like, oh, that's so cliche, blah blah blah.
It's the truth.
There's a deeper meaning to it.
Because if you think about, I would treat myself like crap. So if I'm not going to do that to me, why would I do that to somebody else?
Right.
I know what it is to be misunderstood.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I don't want to stand or be in the stance of misunderstanding somebody.
Yeah. So when you change that, it's going to change your, so changing your prioritization is going to change your pleasures.
Yep.
For sure. So I feel like they go hand in hand. It's not
one against the other.
Correct. It's one whole deal. And I hope that's what was portrayed in this podcast.
Yeah, I think it was. I'm just worrying. Well, I'm not worried. I know the audio will be picked up. It's just I don't want so much background.
But you know what that's actually going to do?
Talking.
You know what that's going to be better though, because it'll entice people to really listen.
Really listen.
So really listen. So amidst from all the background noise and everything so it's kind of like clutter in your mind.
To teach you to focus.
Exactly.
Yeah. So hopefully it'll be good. We're getting ready to wrap up. You got 10 minutes to do a shout out. If you
shout
want.
out? Oh my goodness. God almighty. That's the only shout out that I need.
I'm going to put your Instagram handle on here.
Let's see.
So people can follow you. And we're for sure going to have to do a follow-up.
Right, for sure. I mean, he's been really speaking to me right now. But one of my friends, Jafet, follow him at Infi. I'll send you the name or whatever.
Okay.
You know, he's been going through a pretty tough time.
Shout out to that guy.
Right? He's been going through a pretty tough time. You know, just had a recent loss in his life. And I feel like this guy really portrays, self-love. Yeah. And he just overflows so much that he's, impacted my life to, just be myself. Yeah. And even through this whole, loss that he's had, he's been able to change his perspective to something beautiful and, blooming. Mm-hmm. So shout out to that guy for sure. And shout out to, obviously, the girlfriend, Jacqueline Madrid.
Shout out.
Jackie Madrid. That's really it, just God. And then those two have been really speaking to me lately. Oh, and for sure, shout out to Maris, which is my girlfriend's friend. Her dad's had surgery yesterday. Okay. So, prayers out to him.
Prayers for them.
Yep.
Oh, it's cool.
That's it. Shout out to the wifey.
Yeah.
Wifey.
I want to give a shout out to my wife. The best partner I could have.
Absolutely.
My family, my daughter, and our son that's on the way. And all the supporters. You know, it's good that I'm creating and following for my son.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Ashton Joseph.
Ashton.
We don't know the gender yet, but preferably it'll be a boy. But Ashton Joseph Hooker.
Punked 2 coming out soon.
Yeah. So we're working, but thanks guys for listening. This was an humbling episode. As always,
for sure.
I'm always learning, forever learning, and
absolutely.
I'm not ashamed to mention that. So tune in for episode.
Keep your mind open.
This is episode 4. I think this will be 5 or 6. I have to check and put it in the information. All right, guys. One love.
The podcast you just heard was recorded with Anchor. If you want to make your own, download the Android or iOS app completely free from anchor.fm/podcast. That's anchor.fm/podcast.